Welcome to the path to the PGR Contenders Tier Lists, covering Super Smash Bros. Melee play across 2021 in the regions of North America and Europe. Because this is not an official ranking period, and players clearly treat tournaments in official ranking periods differently, from their attendance choices to tournament mindset to other factors, this ranking will not be presented as a ranked list like the MPGR, nor should this be treated as the equivalent to an MPGR. The players you see on these lists are not a complete list of players who will be in contention for the new MPGR seasons come 2022, but based on 2021 performance and potential, our panelists believe these are the players who have shown they will for sure be a part of next season's conversation. For more information behind these rankings, check out PGstats.com. Now, here is your Melee North American Contenders list. The title of Michigan's Best Falco player isn't enough for Ginger. His eyes are on being named Best Falco in the world. Ginger has made a name off of his optimal use of lasers and stunning pressure play, vacillating between extreme patience and balls-to-the-wall in-your-face scraps. This year has been no exception. Ginger came out of the gate swinging this autumn, snagging a win over Axe at Low Tide City in Texas to take first at the tournament. Excelling at overwhelming his opponent with a playstyle that seemingly changes on the fly, Ginger's practice regimen with players like Magi, Fat Goku, and KJH has given him a consistency that would make anyone hard-pressed to bet against his ascension in the coming year. Heck, even in the coming months. Keep your eyes out for how high he's going to climb.
Oh, Ginger, you just gotta tap it in.
Oh, does he get it? Oh! No way. They're both so scared. Let's stand up.
He lives, he lives.
Oh,
he doesn't live!
Wow.
Ginger wins!
Hungrybox showed many moments of promise in 2021. In the first in-person Melee Major of the year, he quickly silenced anyone who counted him out, beating IBDW, Amsa, Codorin, Zain, and Moki. Immediately afterward, he stunned everybody at Riptide by taking a set from Wizrobe, a recent personal demon. It's not the same Hungrybox we've come to know over the last decade, but he's still capable of beating anyone in the world when he's fully dialed in. Moving forward, he'll need to find a consistent way through an increasingly difficult top echelon of play. Gone are the days of Hungrybox eating Fox players for breakfast and effortlessly stomping everyone else. If the former world #1 wants to recapture his former greatness, he'll have to overcome Zain's Marth, Amsa's Yoshi, Wizrobe's Captain Falcon, Plup Sheik, and a long line of harder Fox players than ever before. It's going to be a grueling climb back to the top of the mountain, but it certainly would be a hell of a story.
This is like a... Oh my again, God. As I was saying earlier. Gets the read.
Over the last few months, Codorin has become a familiar face in major top 8s. His placings were no fluke either. He beat IBDW, S2J, Gatsu, and SFAT, and even spoiled Mewtwo return to a major. But one underrated accomplishment is becoming the 6th person ever to be ranked #1 in Southern California. By doing so, he joins Mango, Ken, S2J, Westballs, and Fly Amanita as the only players to ever finish atop the region's local power rankings. In 2022, Codorin will no longer be just the second best Marth player. He'll have a target on his back, and it won't only be within the confines of the world's most stacked Melee scene. At Nationals, Codorin will have to fend off an ever-growing mid-level playing field of dangerous players not too far from where he was a year ago. Top players won't be caught off guard by Codorin either. If anything, they'll start preparing specifically for him. With everybody watching, will Codorin shy away from the spotlight, or will he shine even brighter?
Bad. He's seeing the windscreen a little too early. The bad pressure. Codorin's combo. Oh, that's it! That's it, Codorin! He's going 3. Stop combo! Oh my God! Codorin's going to be playing Hungrybox.
Some may have thought that Polish's first major win at Super Smash Con Fall Fest was a fluke, given the relatively poor Melee attendance in the Melee bracket for that tournament. However, Polish managed to snag a 3rd place finish at both Smash World Tour Finals and Smash World Tour East, shocking spectators, those in attendance, and Peach haters around the world. And if that wasn't enough, they also beat Hungrybox at both events, a feat many thought was impossible for Peach during Armada's tenure, and snagged an impressive win over IBDW at SWT East. Additionally, Polish absolutely trounced Triff at SWT Finals on their way to 3rd place, and they boast an entirely lopsided win rate over fellow Peach main Lod, proving their dominance in the Peach Ditto. They've shown themselves to be a massive threat to fast fallers and floaties alike. Having established themselves as the current best Peach in the world, one thing is for sure: Polish isn't going anywhere. Sure, there hasn't been a top Peach player that has given many upper echelon players trouble in quite a while, but there's no doubt Polish is striking fear in the hearts of those who took a break from their Peach practice. A word to the wise: Time to dust off that old Peach Notes journal and study up before you become another victim to Polish. You could define someone as an optimist or a pessimist based on how they view SFAT's consistency. Is top 4 at 2 separate majors a sign that he'll stay off the podium, or a good omen for things to come? Those who knew where to look saw inspiration in SFAT's play this year. You could see it in the surprise birthday upset he gifted Mango at Summit 12, or when he nearly 4-stocked Codorin to finish their loser semi-set at main stage. Of course, Codorin made an unreal comeback, continuing SFAT's woes against Marth and consigning him to the same 4th place he finished at Riptide a few months earlier, but at this point, it's getting a bit old defining SFAT by his losses instead of his wins. What other player could run over Fiction, Face Roll, S2J, and Plup at the same event and have taken it for granted? In the past, SFAT has been known for his ability to fend off contenders while struggling to make an impact against the top dogs. In 2021, where the upper ranks have sometimes looked untouchable, SFAT's done an admirable job of punching above his weight. Summit 12 makes him the only player on these rankings below S tier with an offline win on Mango this year, and he's also the only player outside the top 3 to take a land set off Plup. Melee's greatest player to have never won a major continues his hunt, swimming against the current like he always has.
And the set is all but over. All right, the tech chase. Wizzy needs this. But the slide off. Jeez, dude. Wow.
Wow, that looked very clean by SFAT.
Yeah.
According to the Swiss cheese model of risk management, any prevention against risk can be imagined as a piece of Swiss cheese. Each layer might have holes, but it's unlikely for them all to line up at once. You can think of Amsa's chances to win a major like this, and these days, it feels like those holes are getting closer and closer to perfect alignment. You'd be forgiven for thinking a year away from international competition would set Amsa back, but at this point, we should know that no odds slow him down. At his first tournament back, Amsa trounced Mango and None, and took Hungrybox and Zain to the brink before an unfortunate bracket draw resulted in a deceptively modest 9th place finish. For those watching carefully, it was clear that Amsa hadn't taken a single step back, a fact he proved by sweeping the East Asia Smash World Tour regionals without dropping a game. When Amsa returned for Summit 12, he proved that he was only moving forward, dispatching Mango again and absolutely obliterating Hungrybox. By the end of Saturday, you could hear the whispers that maybe this was Amsa's tournament to win. Fate wouldn't have it that way. Amsa finished an impressive 5th place at both Summit and the Smash World Tour finals, stymied by familiar roadblocks such as IBDW, Plup, Wizrobe, and Triff. But Amsa's work ethic has a habit of turning today's obstacle into tomorrow's triumph. In the same tour of the States, he finally notched a win on Lod, who had previously proven to be a brick wall. We could wait for the holes to line up, but every day Amsa's working to widen those gaps. Soon there won't be any way to arrange a bracket that doesn't leave a dinosaur-shaped path.
I'll throw another one.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be it. I don't think
Make it.
Amsa with backup strats on backup strats. Even though Mango got the meteor canceling, even though he got the angle.
It's so tough being behind on Yoshi because he could just trade for days. That's what he does.
In July of 2021, before he even entered his first post-lockdown offline tournament, Plup hosted his own exhibition event, Plup Showdown. There, he crossed controllers with some of Florida's finest in the form of Mewtwo King, Wizrobe, and Gatsu, and completely decimated them, almost with relative ease. He first defeated Gatsu 5-0, then Mewtwo King 5-2, and then finally Wizrobe 5-1. This strong start forecasted how well Plup's return to offline competition would play out, as he managed to place very well at the first 3 tournaments he attended: 4th at Smash Summit 11, 2nd at Riptide, and 1st at SWT NA West Melee Regional Finals. He also garnered wins over the likes of IBDW, Mango, Wizrobe, and Hungrybox. Plup's consistency was also immaculate in 2021. His worst loss was to SoCal's decorated vegan Fox player SFAT, a player well-versed in the Sheik matchup at SWT NA West Melee Regional Finals, a loss he would go on to avenge in Grand Finals of the same tournament. While these accolades certainly make for a commendable year, the Plup Club Patriarch needed to make an emphatic statement to reassert himself as a contender on the world stage. That statement came in the form of a first-place finish at the 4th and final tournament he entered in 2021, the Smash World Tour Championship. Not only did Plup capture the title of World Champion, he also was able to achieve his first national-level tournament win in nearly 4 years. The last one he claimed victory at was Genesis 5 back in 2018.
Oh, and the edge canceling off the nair to continue the pressure.
Forward air. I think that might be it, Fish.
Oh my god. And
That is gonna do it. Plup wrapping it up through winners, 3-1. and becoming the inaugural, the very first ever Smash World Tour champion for Super Smash Brothers Melee, and it ain't no thing!
Yeah!
It ain't no thing! What, you thought I was gonna lose? You didn't think I was Tass?
Hailing from Central Florida, the headquarters of the 20GX movement, Wizrobe has made a career of implementing 20GX's philosophy and manifesto. The so-called optimal Falcon player has continued to climb the rankings ever since his debut, and this past year has been no exception. With wins over every player you can think of, including Hungrybox, Mango, and any other bracket demon he's faced, Wizzy continues to shock and awe Melee diehards with his patented tech chase to death combos. Wizzy finished no worse than 5th at 6 major tournaments in 2021. His most notable accomplishment this year was a first place finish at Main Stage, the largest in-person tournament of the year by entrant count, complete with a unique controller lasso pop-off after he defeated Hungrybox. Despite a hiccup at Riptide, Wizrobe is looking dominant against the Puffmaster, carrying a 4-1 offline record against Hungrybox through 2021. After his impressive showing this season, one thing is clear: the sky is the limit for this young Captain Falcon player.
Ooh, could be dead. Oh, H-Box can still cancel him. Does he get it? Oh! Wizrobe takes it. Main Stage 2021 has been decided. Who thought Wizzy was winning?
IBDW is no stranger to being underrated. By the time someone deigns to undercut one of his accomplishments, IBDW has already leapfrogged to the next milestone. In a Melee career spanning only 6 years, he's recorded what is inarguably the second fastest rise to top 10 of any player in the modern era, bested only by fellow prodigy Zain. In September, IBDW joined an exclusive club of only 16 other players in Melee history by winning his first major at Riptide. And yet, take to Twitter or Reddit afterward, and you'd see the discussion that maybe this major shouldn't count as much given the absence of IBDW's biggest obstacles, Zain and Mango. Those misgivings only grew louder after IBDW faltered at Main Stage against lower-ranked emissaries of the same characters in Codorin and Ginger. How poetic then that Cody Schwab would silence the doubters by taking his first victory over Zain en route to a Summit 12 victory whose prestige leaves zero room for discussion. What's more, he did it in his way, counterpicking Zain to final destination in a swaggering display of bravura before swiftly 3-0ing Mango. The last and only other time IBDW beat Mango was 10 sets and 2 years prior at Smash Summit 8. At that tournament, his breakout run seemed fueled by spite, stubbornness, and a wee bit of alcohol after a disastrous group stage. Compare that to the winner's interview at Summit 12, where IBDW couldn't stop smiling and repeatedly emphasized that his main aim had been to have fun. The question marks that followed IBDW were never due to his skill or work ethic. As he'd admit himself, the only thing holding back IBDW was IBDW. Mentality reforged and happier than ever, the last shackles on his potential have finally been broken.
Is that the whole ceremony cheat? Is that what you're doing, Mikey? You just handed him an empty VHS tape?
This doesn't feel real.
Going into 2020, Zain was on top of the Melee world. He won Genesis 7 without dropping a set in January, and not even 2 weeks later, he got picked up by Golden Guardians as their first Melee player. Although Zain's momentum in 2020 was halted by the burgeoning coronavirus pandemic, many in the Melee community believed 2021 was going to be the year where Zain cemented his place at the top of Melee's most elite echelon. For the most part, Zain succeeded in this endeavor. Over the course of 2021, he didn't drop below 3rd place at the 3 tournaments he attended, all of which were invitationals. He also took sets over a murderous row of players such as Mango, IBDW, Plup, and Hungrybox, establishing a winning record over every player in the world except Mango, against whom Zain would end the year with a negative set record of 1-3. Zain's resume for the year was, by all means, astounding, and he certainly made a strong argument for the title of the best player in the world. However, it was his trilogy of set losses to Mango that just barely took him out of contention for the #1 spot. He also suffered an uncharacteristic loss to IBDW, a player Zain had never lost to in their previous 7 offline sets. Zain may have been unable to fully capitalize on the hype that was surrounding him in 2021, but if he can clean up his consistency, 2022 could be the year in which the Golden Swordsman begins his reign as the world's greatest.
Oh, nice tech.
Oh, he's alive!
If you were a Mango fan in 2018, things were looking hopeless. Mango was struggling against his toughest rivals, and there was always a chance he'd lose before top 8. His glory days were gradually beginning to feel like a fading memory, and he failed to win a major for that entire year. Recent history has made 2021 so much sweeter for Mango. He's fresh off the best year he's had since 2014, the last time he finished #1 in the world. The peak of it, winning Smash Summit 11, involved a wildly cascading series of possible greatest. In a single tournament, Mango might have had the greatest losers bracket run of all time, the greatest reverse 3-0 of all time, and the greatest Grand Finals performance of all time. Maybe you don't agree, but what you can't argue with is cold, hard cash, the largest first place payout of all time. There's nothing to say about Mango that hasn't already been said, but when you examine the ebbs and flows of his career, it's obvious that what defines him is an unparalleled dedication to the game. Above all else, it's this timeless persistence which led the now official GOAT of Melee back to his throne.
Got him!
And Mango fights all the way back.
Yep.
From whatever he entered into losers all the way to Grand Finals.
Yep. Man, he has put on some classics for the fans today. Because
it's just like, it's kind of like the last one all over again. Well, you got to win.
I feel like I've seen this movie before.
I know, right?
Yeah.